So I'll quickly start talking about a little bit about myself, because apparently I love to do that. So my name is Gia. I am the owner of Revised Pharma. I did the GPHC exam not too long ago. So this is the exam at the end of your trainee year. And I got 100% in calculations and 95% overall. So when it comes to calculations, I like to think I'm okay at it. I don't know how many of you, just give me a yes or a no. How many of you follow Revised Pharma on Instagram? Good. Anyone who says no will just be removed from this. No, I'm joking. You won't be. But yeah, if you haven't, it's a great page to follow. It's got loads and loads of free educational content on there. I do a quiz every like working day. I don't do it on the weekends because I just need a bit of time for myself. But yeah, and it's, other than the free content, there are some courses as well, but I'm not going to really go into that. It's written to be simple and it's of great quality. So I've never been the person who's like super smart, but because of the simplicity of the training courses that Revised Pharma provides, it makes everything easy. So that's enough about me. What we're going to do, and I hope everyone has a calculator and a piece of paper and a pen. If not, I'm giving you, I don't know, how long does it take? I'm giving you 15 seconds to quickly go get one. Because I don't want people to be feeling a bit left out. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 2 minutes per question. There'll be 6 questions, but after each question, I'll go through it. So it's going to be quite nice, just a learning activity, I suppose. How does that sound? Is everyone excited? I bet no one's going to respond to that. But yeah, so one person responded, good. One person's excited. Right, so this is the first question. And what I'm going to do, I'm literally just going to give you 2 minutes to tackle this question. So you've got 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay, so that's time. Do people want to quickly put in the answers? Put in the answer that you got. Don't be shy. Cool. So most of you got 15.85. I haven't seen anyone else and people get anything otherwise. So I'm really happy with that. So a 72-year-old patient, female patient, that's a very key point, weighing 52 kilograms, has been admitted to hospital after experiencing severe pain in her kidneys. The doctor would like to measure the patient's creatinine clearance. The patient has a serum creatinine reading of 232 micromoles per liter. What is the patient's creatinine clearance to 2 decimal place? So it's a very simple, just plug in the numbers. What you want to do first, though, is make sure that the units from each kind of thing that you're going to plug in matches the equation. What I mean by that is, so as we can see, this says creatinine in micromoles per liter. Okay. Let's say, for example, in the question, they gave you 2,320 micromoles per 10 liter. Then you'd know you'd have to divide that value by 10. Or for example, weight in kilograms, they might give it to you in like stones and pounds, which you might have to convert. Obviously, that would be a little bit more harsh. That would be like a harsher level of question, but do keep an eye out for that. So we know F, because they're female, is 1.04. Weight, age is 72, so we do the 140 minus the 72. Weight is 52. Creatinine clearance 232 micromoles per liter. Very simple. You plug it in, and then this line is where people tend to drop their mark when they really shouldn't have. So, what is the patient's creatinine clearance to 2 decimal places? If you do the whole question right, but you don't put it in 2 decimal places, you really, really, really shot yourself in the foot. So it's super advised that you read that last line. If it was conversions, I believe they will provide you that. It will be a bit too harsh to expect you to memorize that. Okay. Cool. So that was a good one, right? Everyone got that right from what I saw. Moving on to the next one. You've got 2 minutes for this question. Your time starts now.
Hello. Just checking whether we still have Zia on the session.
Yeah. Just giving them 2 minutes to quickly.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Cool. Okay, and that's 2 minutes on that one. So let's quickly have a look. People, give me your answers. Let's see your answers. Yay, 72. So 72 tablets. Right. So a patient has come to the pharmacy to collect their prednisolone, which has been prescribed on a reducing dose regimen. They have been asked to take 40 milligrams of prednisolone for the first 5 days, 20 milligrams for a week after, and then 10 milligrams thereafter. How many 5 milligram tablets of prednisolone are needed to supply 14 days worth? So we know there's going to be 14 days worth of supply. It hasn't told us how long specifically we need to take the 10 milligrams for, but we can work that out. So you know we're taking 40 milligrams for 5 days, because that's given, 20 milligrams for a week, that's 7 days, but a total of 14 days supply is given. So 14 minus 5 minus 7 means we're left with 2 days. So 2 days worth of 10 milligrams. And remember, they're in 5 milligram tablets. So what we're going to do is work out how many tablets per kind of session is given. So 8 tablets for 5 days, that's 40. 4 tablets for 7 days, that's 28. 2 tablets for 2 days, that's 4. Add it all up, nice and easy, 72 tablets. One thing that tends to catch people out, so just like bring it up in your head whilst you're in the Oriel calculation sitting, is see if they've told you in the question, by the way, we've given them 50, how many are left owing? So if they'd given them 50 already, how many would be owing in this situation? 22, easy peasy. But just make sure that it's not asking you about owing, or if it is, you know what to do now, right? Easy peasy. On to the next one. So same as before, you've got 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay, and that's time for that. So let's hear your answers. There's less answers for this one. I feel like maybe this one was a bit harder. So let's quickly have a look. 214.3. So by now you should all be a little bit familiar with the C1V1 equals C2V2 equation. So a patient needs to be supplied with 0.5 liters of 3% hydrogen peroxide solution, but the pharmacist only has a stock of 7% hydrogen peroxide solution available. How many milliliters of the 7% stock solution is needed to fulfill the patient's request. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Cool. So C1, V1. Let's quickly work out what we know already. C1 is 3%. That's our starting solution, right? This is going to be solution 1. V1 is 0.5 liters. But for the sake of making this easier, because we ask how many milliliters are needed, let's turn this into milliliters as well. So 500 milliliters. C2 is 7%, but we want to know how much of that we're giving. So that's a question mark. We don't know. C1, V1 equals C2, V2. Very important equation that you should know. So quickly plugging that in, C1, 3 times 500, which is V1, equals 7 times we don't know. So rearrange that. 1,500 divided by 7 is 214.28571. And remember, 1 decimal place, making it 214.3. So when you only know, out of C1, V1, C2, and V2, if you only know 3, if you don't know at least 3, you can't use this equation. But if you only know 3, you use this equation. Cool beans. Right, next one's a little bit trickier. So you've got 2 minutes. Your time starts now. And that's time. Let's see your answers. Only one answer for now? That's fine. Well, the one answer was correct, so well done. We're going to go through a different type of equation, which I'll be honest, maybe at university you haven't yet seen. Like even up until pre-reg, some people hadn't really seen it. But the equation that we use is this one. It's C1 times V1 plus C2 times V2 over V1 plus V2 equals the concentration that you want. So for this equation to work, we need to know all 4 values, C1, V1, C2, and V2. So remember the equation before, you needed to know 3 values. This one, you need to know 4. That's the only difference. So you've been asked to mix 18 milliliters of 35% weight per volume amoxicillin. Okay. And now by the way, we're being asked to work out the final concentration of amoxicillin in the end. So concentration of amoxicillin in this solution is 35%. And we've got 18 milliliters of it. Cool. So 35 and 18. Amoxicillin is diluted with 82 mils of distilled water. Okay, so off the bat, we know the volume is 82. But what is the concentration of amoxicillin in just normal distilled water? It's 0. Okay, so that's maybe why a reason that people didn't know what the final, what the second concentration was. Just remember, if it's distilled water, the concentration equals 0. Similarly, if they ask you it's mixed with pure amoxicillin, then it's 100% amoxicillin. Okay, unless they've stated otherwise elsewhere. What is the final concentration of amoxicillin as a percentage weight per volume? Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So what we do is we use this equation, plug in the numbers. So you can see C1 times V1 over here, plus C2 V2, which will just be 0 because 0 times anything is 0, over the 2 volumes. Yeah. So 18 plus 82, which is 100, gives you 6.3% weight per volume. And that's already as 1 decimal place. Did that make it a little bit more sense? Or did it make more sense? I don't know. How I asked that question didn't make sense. But did this make sense? Yeah? Good. Good, good, good. 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Okay. So who's got some answers for me? Let's have a quick look. So the answer for this one is 0.03% weight per volume. So you currently have a 1 in 300 solution of calamine solution, which needs to be diluted by a factor of 10. Okay. What is the concentration of the end product written as percentage weight per volume? Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Oh, my bad. That should have said 2 decimal places. Apologies for that one. That's probably why people didn't get the answer. But we'll quickly go through it anyway. Really sorry about that. So 1 in 300 means 1 gram in 300 mils. Do we all know that? So 1 in something means 1 gram in that something. Dilute it by a factor of 1 in 10. So you've got 1 gram in 3,000 mils. So we need to express this as a percentage weight per volume. Remember, percentage weight per volume is 1% is 1 gram in 100 mils, 10% is 10 grams in 100 mils, 100% is 100 grams in 100 mils. You get the point. So what we do is we divide the 100 by the 3000 and then times by 1 to work that out. And in 2 decimal places, which is what I should have put in the question, is 0.03% weight per volume. But the key concept to take away is that 1% weight per volume is 1 gram, 10% weight per volume is 10 gram. So how to use that dilution factor? So remember, if it's 1 gram in 100 mils, from that 100 mils, we want to find out how much there is in 3,000 milliliters. So you just do the 100 divided by the 3,000. Oh, the second line. Okay. So because it says it needs to be diluted by a factor of 10, basically it means you dilute it to 10 times the volume. So it started as 300 mils and we're diluting it down to 10 times the volume, which is 3,000. Cool. Last one. A patient weighing 82 kilograms has been prescribed gentamicin at a dose of 200 micrograms per kilograms per hour for 12 hours. How many 50 milligram vials is needed to supply this dose? You've got a minute and a half I'll give you for this one because we're running a bit short. Okay, so let's quickly go over this one. Who's got an answer? So we've got 4 vials. Good. So what you want to do with these types of questions is condense the questions as you go along. So before I even looked at this line, I'd already decided that the patient weighing 82 kilograms at a dose of 200 micrograms per kilogram per hour for 12 hours, before I moved on to this line, I had already done the 200 times 82 times 12, giving us the 196.8 milligrams. And then once you've done that, it's super easy. You just divide it by 50, which gives you 3.936. But remember, vials come in full numbers. You can't give 0.936 of a vial. So you need to open that whole vial, right? Which gives you 4 vials. So really quickly, thank you for everyone who came. So my 3 top tips: practice, practice, practice. Okay. That's not all my 3 top tips. That's just one of them. But make sure to read the last line, especially regarding the decimal places, and learn how to use your calculator accurately. So get used to your calculator. Basically, that's what I'm saying. The more you use it, the speedier you'll get, the more accurate you'll get. What happens if you don't rank well? Well, really not much. So personally, this is one of my personal secrets. I didn't rank too well on Oriel, but remember, especially if you want community pharmacy, it won't really affect you too much. You can get into community pharmacy even without doing the Oriel process. You can actually go privately. But yeah. So you can get places outside of Oriel, places to ask for help, your university teachers, ask around your local pharmacies, and contact Revised Pharma. And one last shout out for myself. If you don't follow Revised Pharma, do follow it, please. It will help you a lot, especially when it comes to training year. Loads of free content on there. and it makes learning fun. What is Revise Farmer? Oh my, what a way to end this session. It's an Instagram page with loads and loads of cool facts on there. It's the page that I own. But yeah, go have a look. It's at revise_farmer.